This is the state of Wisconsin versus Matthew Mathias, 26 CF 64. Can I have appearances, please?
The state appears by ADA Ben Wagner.
Matthew Mathias appears in person and in custody alongside Attorney Stengel. We have received a copy of the criminal complaint. We will waive its formal reading. The address on it is correct. And at the moment, Mr. Mathias is not eligible for public defender representation, but I will represent him today.
Looks like Mr. Mathias is on a DOC hold. You have the right to have an attorney represent you. You're not eligible for a public defender, but you've been provided information with how to contact them if you feel like your circumstances have changed. And I'm sorry, Attorney Stengel, did he say his address was good?
Yep, his address is correct.
Right. I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
The state's asking for $1,000 cash bail, along with the non-monetary conditions that he not operate a motor vehicle, period, and that he not consume any alcohol. This is a fifth OWI. There's going to be mandatory prison time with this. So I think that some cash is necessary and appropriate here.
All right. Attorney Stengel, when you're ready.
Okay. We are asking for a signature bond with a referral for pretrial services. Obviously, with this being an OWI, the drinking is the problem, and pretrial services will be able to monitor him so that they can ensure that he is not drinking. At this point, if you were to put it at $1,000, he would lose his construction contractor job, and his kids wouldn't be able to be taken care of. So we are requesting a signature bond with pretrial services.
All right, any response from the state?
No.
All right. Well, there's a DOC hold, so regardless of what I order today, until that hold is lifted, Mr. Mathias will be incarcerated. We are here for a fifth OWI fifth. The last conviction was from January 29th, 2024 from an incident in August 2023. I think Mr. Mathias is struggling. I think both cash and pretrial services are appropriate. I'll order $500 cash. I'll order that Mr. Mathias not operate a motor vehicle and that he not consume or possess any alcohol. Looking at the complaint and the charges, you know, there were things in place here to protect Mr. Mathias from running into this issue if he had been compliant with it, both the revocation of his driver's license and also the IID. Those weren't complied with. I don't have much confidence that if I order just pretrial services that he'll be compliant with that. For pretrial services, I'm also going to order that Mr. Mathias only be released at a time when he can be connected with pretrial services. So if you post on a weekend, you won't be able to be released until pretrial services opens up again. All right, sir. I'll enter not guilty pleas as to counts 2 and 3. In regards to the preliminary hearing for the felony on count 1.
We're going to waive time limits.
We'll waive time limits then, and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Next is Jermaine Hatch.
Hatch?
Yes, sir.
Jermaine Hatch.
There we
Go.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus Jermaine Hatch, 26 CF 76. Can I have appearances, please?
The state appears by ADA Ben Wagner.
Mr. Hatch appears in person and in custody alongside Attorney Stingle. He has received a copy of the criminal complaint. We're going to waive its formal reading, and he is eligible for public defender representation.
Sorry if I missed it. Did you say the address on San Pearl Lane is a good mailing address?
Yes, the address is correct.
So you have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this. You have Attorney Stengel representing you today. They'll try to get somebody appointed quickly. Sometimes that can take a few weeks, sometimes it can take a few months, all right? But they're working on it, so just hang in there. I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
The state is asking for $3,000 cash bail, along with the condition that the defendant not have any contact, direct or indirect, with TSC, that he be banned from San Pearl Lane in Madison, Wisconsin, and that he be admonished by the courts under 940.47. The defendant was arrested on October 31st of 2025 for domestic disorderly conduct and battery with TSC as a victim. From the same incident, the defendant is also charged with reckless child abuse, where he struck a minor in the throat, as well as possession of methamphetamine. TSC enforced the 72-hour no contact after the defendant's arrest, and despite that, defendant repeatedly called TSC from the Dane County Jail. The content of those calls ranges from victim blaming to outright demanding the victim, quote unquote, fix the situation the defendant's behavior created. Even outside the 72-hour no contact window, the defendant continued to call TSC 18 times until he was released, despite the bail conditions prohibiting any contact whatsoever. Finally, the defendant was arrested for these offenses at San Pearl Lane. He's prohibited from being present at that address by virtue of the bail conditions as well. These facts make clear that the defendant has no respect for the legitimate reasonable orders, the 72-hour no contact and bail conditions and law enforcement commands. He's escalated to blaming TSC for his conduct and attempting to dissuade her from further participating further in the prosecution. So I think that additional cash is appropriate, as well as admonishments under 940.47.
Attorney Stengel?
Yes, as he's eligible for public defender representation, we are asking for a signature bond. He has one minor child that lives with him who is 14, and he also is the sole caretaker of his mother with dementia. He's lived in Dane County for the last 15 years, and he has shown that he is able to, in the past, follow the rules that have been set out for him. He was sentenced back in 2023 to 30 months of probation, and he actually successfully completed it. Since he's already on a $1,500 cash bond, and this case will track with that case, I think a signature bond is appropriate.
Any response from the state?
No.
All right. Well, Mr. Hatch has shown he can follow the rules in the past. My concern is about following the rules now. If he's shown he can follow the rules in the past, I believe he could follow the rules now. It's concerning to me that there's allegations of contact of this sort with the victim, which, if they occurred, would be a clear violation of the court's order. I think significant cash is warranted. I'm going to set it a little lower than what the state is asking. I'm going to set $2,000 cash. Conditions that Mr. Hatch have no contact with T as in Tom, S as in Sarah, C as in cat, and that he's banned from San Pearl Lane. I'll also find that based on the allegations, the complaint, and what the prosecutor said today, that knowing and malicious prevention or dissuasion of any person who is a victim or witness has occurred or is reasonably likely to occur. And I'll issue an order under 940.47 prohibiting contact with TSC. If you violate that, even if you don't sign or bond or post it, you could be held in contempt of court. And if you do sign or post the bond, then you could be additionally charged with bail jumping. You understand that, sir?
So.
So don't contact TSC.
So I have to let you know something.
No, you should talk to your attorney because anything you say could be used against you. I can give you some time to talk with her if you'd like. But you should really talk with your attorney first.
Okay,
Very good.
please.
Mr. Hatch would like me to inform the court that while he is the caretaker of his very sick mother with dementia, the victim in this case also helps with taking care of her. So we are requesting that instead of blanket no contact with the victim, you allow for contact for the purposes of taking care of his sick mother with dementia.
I don't see how the no contact would interfere with the victim being able to take care of his mom.
Because of where she lives, because she lives in that geographic band.
Okay, so the victim isn't geographically banned. Mom can be there. I'm not sure why Mr. Hatch needs to be present for any of that. I'm gonna maintain it. I'm sorry that your mom's getting looped into this. But fortunately, TSC has the needs to be protected as well as well as the court process. I will enter not guilty pleas to count 4. Counts 1, 2, 3, and 5 are felonies. Will the time limits be kept or waived?
We're not gonna waive time limits.
All right, we'll keep the time limits in place then, and we are adjourned. Thank you. Right quick, please. Can I have a second? Okay. Hoyt,
Hoye, HOYE.
Michael Hoyt.
Stand and go back.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus Michael Hoyt, 25 CM 1037. Can I have appearances, please?
The state appears by ADA Ben Wagner.
Mr. Hoyt appears in person and in custody alongside Attorney Stingle. He has received a copy of the criminal complaint. The address is correct, and we waive its formal reading.
And is Mr. Hoyt eligible for a public defender?
Yes, he's eligible for our services.
All right. So you have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this. You're eligible for a public defender. They're gonna work on getting somebody appointed for you. Could take a few weeks. It could also take a few months. So just hang in there, all right? Very good. I find probable cause of the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
No objection to a signature bond, but with the conditions that the defendant not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license, not operate a motor vehicle without a functioning IID, and not operate a motor vehicle with any alcohol in the system.
No objection from defense.
So I was thinking some cash might be necessary in this case. Looks like we're on Mr. Hoy's third. There's a 0.02 operating restriction. His blood was leveled at a 0.032, which is under 0.08, but above his operating restriction. He is also being charged with operating while revoked, so he's not supposed to be driving at all, and failing to install an IID. These are conditions put in place to make sure that Mr. Hoy is driving safely and without alcohol in his system. I'm not sure if I put in an order on a signature bond with conditions, that's less strong than the conditions that were already in place. So I'll take argument as to why a signature bond would be appropriate, and I'll start with the state.
No, I understand the court's concern with those violations. Obviously, those are serious. There is I guess the opposition to that argument would be that the defendant doesn't have any missed court appearances recently, and I think that was the reasoning behind recommending a signature bond in the first place, is that he hasn't failed to appear at court, and this was it was a nonviolent offense, even though drunk driving is obviously dangerous.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, we are also requesting a signature bond based on the fact that he's eligible for our services, that he hasn't missed court, he doesn't have any recent missed court dates. He has 2 children that he's the sole caretaker of. They are 11 and 9 years old. He's been a Dane County resident for the last 30 years. If the court is hesitant to give him a signature bond, I would alternatively suggest a signature bond with pretrial supervision to ensure that he's not drinking and to monitor him.
So it sounds like you haven't missed court. You got 2 kids. Pretrial services can be pretty onerous, okay? I'll take a chance with you on pretrial services. If there's any violations, they can get back to us pretty quick and we can get into court to discuss bail and whether cash is appropriate, okay? So it sounds like you've had a few chances now. I hope this is rock bottom for you. I don't want to see you taken away from your kids. Once you hit a certain level of OWI, it's not a question of if jail time is going to be imposed, but how much, okay? So you need to handle your business. According to the complaint, you were hanging out with friends drinking, and then you went to a bar and were drinking. It might be best for you in this situation where you're at now to just stay away from alcohol. I realize that can be a lot of bit isolating, but you really need to put yourself and your kids first right now, okay? I'm not doing this to be mean or to be an asshole, but I want to look out for you and I want to make sure you're going to be able to be there for your kids, okay? So what I'll do is I'll order a signature bond with the conditions that you not operate a motor vehicle without a valid license, that you not operate a motor vehicle with any alcohol in your system, and that you not operate a motor vehicle without a functioning ignition interlock device. I'll order pretrial services. You should have enough time to report today, I think. But if not, you're to report. Can you make it over the weekend, or should I have you not be released until you can report?
Can make it till the.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm saying, can you make it through the weekend
Oh,
without
yes,
reporting?
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
So, I'll order that you report to pretrial services by 10 a.m. of the next business day, okay? So that's gonna give us some information about whether you can make it over the weekend, all right? They'll conduct alcohol monitoring of you. That might be remote alcohol monitoring. It might also be a cam bracelet, okay? It's gonna be my expectation, also that you not consume or possess any alcohol if I failed to say that. All right, do you have any questions for me? Okay. These are misdemeanors, so I'll enter not guilty pleas on your behalf, and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Next is Tiger WAHTOLA.
Sorry, the emails are coming in fast and furious.
Yeah.
Tiger.
What?
Tiger
WAHTOLA?
WAHTOLA. Here in BIZZELL.
And Mr. WAHTOLA, can you hear us? Can you give us a thumbs up if you can hear us? And I don't see anybody and I can't hear anybody. So I don't know if we have Mr. WAHTOLA.
Stop being nasty.
Microphone is on, sir. Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay. Can the bell confirm that we have Mr. WAHTOLA?
Yeah, he is here. He's just not wanting to step in front of the camera. Zoom.
Okay, this is 26 CM 68, State of Wisconsin versus Tiger WAHTOLA. Can I have appearances, please?
The state appears by ADA Ben Wagner.
Mr. Wintola appears via Zoom through a meal slot alongside Attorney Stingle. Mr. Wintola, do you have a copy of the criminal complaint?
The bailiff provided him with one several minutes ago.
Mr. Wintola, do you have a copy of the criminal complaint?
And bailiff, you're muted.
He's gone back to his cell. He did receive a copy of the criminal complaint, yes.
You know what? It's just the same shit I got yesterday. You having fun being nasty, dude?
Okay,
Mr. Wintola, so you have a copy of the criminal complaint. Is the address on it correct? Is it the correct address for you, Mr. Wintola?
on Morris Street.
Morris Street, sir? Is that correct?
It's straight in Stoughton, Wisconsin.
Is that where you live, on Morris Street?
Currently in jail.
I heard him say he's currently in jail.
Okay.
So we'll leave the address on Morris Street. If you'd like to change it to the jail, he can reach out to
Person
us.
is nasty.
Okay. Where is he currently?
It's over in Vegas. Administrative confinement cell block in the city county building.
At this point, I'm gonna raise competency on Mr. WAHTOLA. I believe he was found not competent to stand trial, March 28th of this year. So I request that we proceed without setting bail,
All right, March 28th of last year.
of last year, 2025.
And I believe the procedure is that bail is set, and then I order competency. So I'll hear arguments about, well, first I will find probable cause in the complaint. Mr. WAHTOLA, I'll advise you that in this case, you have the right to have an attorney represent you. What are the state's recommendations for bail?
The state's asking for $100 cash bail and a ban from the 1100 block of University Avenue. He was given a signature bond on December 22nd with the same condition. A week later, he had violated that condition. He was told by an employee that he was banned. He returned again 8 days later and was arrested. He's not abiding by court orders, and so some cash bail is reasonable. Looks like a temporary restraining order was granted as well and was served on the defendant on January 6th in the jail. That would be case number 26 CV 61.
All right, Attorney Stengel?
I'm requesting a signature bond. What we have here is 2 times that he was sleeping in a church basement. He's obviously having some mental health issues at the moment. Jail isn't the most productive place for him. Getting mental health treatment would be a significantly better place for him. And if we have a competency hearing, and he'll just end up being ordered to get a competency evaluation, and they're in a better place to evaluate whether or not this should be treated within the confines of the criminal justice system or the civil justice system, the civil system.
Any response to the state?
Just that I'm concerned that whether he's gonna show up for any kind of evaluation that the court orders is in terms of competency. I know that's continuously a problem with defendants who have these same types of issues. So he stays in jail. It's easier for the department or the evaluator to find him.
Okay. I typically don't set bail as low as $100 cash. I don't, if I'm setting bail that low, I feel that I might as well just do a signature bond. I don't feel like it's a significant amount. Here, I think a signature bond recommendation is certainly appropriate, but we're here on 2 bail jumping charges. The allegations are clearly breaking bail conditions. I'm not sure that Mr. WAHTOLA will abide by conditions unless there's some cash here. I'll order $200 cash, and that he's banned from the 1100 block of University Avenue. In regards to competency, does the state have a position or anything they'd like to be heard on?
No.
Okay, and then I'll also order an outpatient competency evaluation for Mr. WAHTOLA, which means if cash isn't posted, he'll be able to be evaluated in the jail. We won't set this for any further proceedings pending until we get the competency evaluation back. Is there anything else I can do for the parties today?
No.
No, Judge.
Then we are adjourned. Thank you, Mr. WAHTOLA.
Next is TRAVON Kelly.
Trayvon Kelly. Paper, stand on the yellows. Hey, I know
This is the state of Wisconsin versus Trayvon Kelly, 25 CF 2644. Can I have appearances, please?
The state appears by ADA Ben Wagner.
Yeah, I see it, but, no. It's not.
Okay.
I just feel like, yeah, I feel like I'm in jail for no reason. I was in Denver, I got jumped by 3 people, trying to take my girl. You know, I don't got a number.
Mr. Kelly appears in person and in custody alongside Attorney Stingle. He has received a copy of the criminal complaint. The address is not correct. If we could update the address to 2422 Fox Avenue, Madison, Wisconsin, 53711. He is eligible for our services and is currently being represented by a public defender in our office.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this. The attorney who's already represented will likely get assigned to this case as well, okay? I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
The state's asking for $10,000 cash bail, along with conditions that the defendant not have any contact with Cameron B or Jordan W. And that Cameron is spelled with Kameron. B is in boy. No alcohol, and that he not be at any bars, pubs, or taverns. That he gets banned from the State Street area, and that he also not possesses any dangerous weapons. In this case, while the defendant was out on bond in his current open Dane County case, he's alleged to have attacked from behind and attempted to stab 2 people outside a bar on State Street. Luckily, the knife was wrestled away from his hand before anyone was seriously injured, and he ended up fleeing the area. He also has a failure to appear in the underlying case on July 18th of 2025. I think that given the circumstances here, significant cash is appropriate.
I'll note there was a PSA filed. It considers the new activity, the new criminal activity of 4 out of 6. And the failure to appear 4 out of 6, or the risk of failure to appear 4 out of 6. Notes that there's a pending charge at the time of the offense and a prior misdemeanor conviction. It states that there's no prior violent convictions, but 1 failure to appear within the past 2 years. Recommends a signature bond with pretrial supervision. Attorney Stengel.
Thank you. I am agreeing with the public safety assessment. I think a signature bond is more than appropriate here. He does have 1 failure to appear in the last 2 years, and that was in July. He quickly got that fixed, and that was prior to him having an attorney on his other open case. He has been in good contact with his public defender. I spoke with her this morning, and he's made all of his court appearances in that case since July. I would also like to note that he's lived in Wisconsin for the last 3 years, and he has 2 children, a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. The 1-year-old lives with him.
All right, any response from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Here we have allegations that are quite dangerous. There is a failure to appear, but it sounds like that was cured rather quickly. Mr. Kelly has 2 kids, one of whom lives with him. No, I'll give that a little weight. The pretrial services report recommends a signature bond. However, the allegations here are extremely dangerous. But for the intervention of a bystander, what I believe to be a bystander, I don't know if they were involved or not at all. It could be in a much different situation. I think 10,000 is a little steep. I'll do half of that. I think $5,000 cash is appropriate. I'll order that, Mr. Kelly, you have no contact with Cameron B or Jordan W. And is that Jordan with an A and W as in walrus?
Correct.
All right. I'll order that you not consume or possess any alcohol. that you not be present at any bars, and that you are banned from the State Street area as outlined by the map. I'll also order that you not use or possess any dangerous weapons. I'll enter not guilty pleas on the misdemeanors. Will the time limits for the prelim on the felony be kept or waived?
Basically, I got watching my kid. I didn't plan on it. Trying to protect the woman.
But are you comfortable with that? We're not gonna waive time limits.
Right, time limits will be kept then, and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Perfect, register, please. Next is Matthew Bartelt. Great numbers, like I said, a number, we got paperwork.
Yeah, just call the public defender's office, they'll give you a answer.
There's contact information.
Thank you.
Matthew Bartelt. Paperwork, the Stanley Gallows.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus Matthew Bartelt, 26 CF 74. Can I have appearances, please?
State appears with ADA. State appears by ADA Ben Wagner.
Mr. Bartelt appears in person and in custody alongside Attorney Stingle. Mr. Bartelt has received a copy of the criminal complaint. He's going to waive the formal reading of the criminal complaint, and the address on it is correct. Mr. Bartelt is also eligible for public defender representation.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this. You're eligible for a public defender. They're going to work on getting somebody assigned for you. I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
The state is asking for $1,500 cash bail, along with a condition that he not have any contact with the co-defendant, Maurice Neal, and that he be banned from any Fleet Farm store. Yeah, that's it. It looks like he was recently convicted of a burglary on October 21st of 2024, which is the basis for the repeater allegations. And there's a significant amount of loss here for the store, between $800 and $5,000.
All right, thank you. On behalf of Mr. Bartelt.
Yes, thank you. We are requesting a signature bond here. He's never missed a court date in his life. And history has shown us that if we give him a high cash bond, like $1,500 that the state is asking for, he won't be able to post and he will just sit. In his last case, he sat from 4/17/25 to 7/1/25 on a $2,000 bond until the charges got dropped. In his case, second to last case, he sat from 9/21/23 to 12/1/23 on a $2,500 cash bond until it got changed to a signature bond. So if you're at this point, if you're if you're gonna ask for such a high cash bond, you're just going to be sentencing him. Also, he's going to be on probation for the next year and a half, so he's going to have supervision. And it sounds like his probation agent is working with him to get him into treatment at this moment. Also, I would like the court to know that he is currently in school at the University of Phoenix studying business.
All right. Any response from the state?
No,
All right. Well, I never like to see when people are back in court, but you've got, especially if they're already on supervision, typically that indicates cash is appropriate. Carrie, you're charged with a felony retail theft. For convicted of that, I assume there's going to be some pretty significant consequences. You're gonna wanna make sure you're coming to court because these are felony charges. You're gonna wanna make sure you're following the law because you can be charged with felony bail jumping if you violate the law while you're on bond, okay? I'm going to order a signature bond. I'm going to order that you have no contact with your co-defendant in this case. I'm going to order that you're banned from all Fleet Farms, okay? Please make sure you do what you need to do to get this case wrapped up. In regards to the time limits for the preliminary hearing,
We're not gonna waive time limits.
all right, we'll keep the time limits in place then. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Next is Nevada VARESE.
Race with a V as in Victor, Nevada VARESE.
Yes, sir.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus Nevada VARESE, 26 CM 84 and 26 CM 85. Can I have appearances, please?
the state appears by ADA Ben Wagner.
That's, I'm not supposed to do it, it's a good school, you know. Yeah, but it's on, that's, I gotta go just for you.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
I know, I'm just for. Where's this, saying that I have to try to get up over the rest of that.
And as we discussed before, because of
Why
the,
don't you hold on 1 second so Attorney Stengel can
Yep.
be a part.
Mr. Varese appears in person in custody alongside Attorney Stingle. We have received a copy of the criminal complaint. We waive its formal reading. The address on it is not correct, so we need to update that. And he is eligible for our services. What is their new address?
It's 1510 Time Drive. 1530704, Madison, Wisconsin, apartment number 7.
Did you get that?
Believe we got that.
Okay.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this. You're eligible for a public defender. And I believe the state had something they wanted to say about 26 CM 85.
yeah, Your Honor, we were going to dismiss 26 CM 85 since it's a duplicate of 26 CM 29, and that's already gone through an initial appearance. Can't have duplicate cases, so we'll dismiss the 85 case.
All right. Any objection?
No objection.
All right, then I'll dismiss 26 CM 85. I find probable cause on 26 CM 84. What's the state's recommendation?
State's asking for $250 cash, with the condition that he not have any contact with Tricia H. DB banned from the 5100 block of Anton Drive. Considering this case as well as the previous case, these two people should not have any contact with each other.
Can you
via
speak
phone.
up just a little bit?
Yeah, sorry, these notes are,
If you need a moment, feel free to take.
yeah. I just think that given the circumstances, I think that some cash is appropriate as well as those non-monetary conditions.
We're gonna have about Tracy.
All right. Attorney Stingle?
Yes, thank you. We are asking for a signature bond here. He had a $2,000 cash bond set on January 5th, 2026, just a few days ago. This case is going to run alongside that case. So I think the $2,000 that is already set is sufficient to ensure that he comes to court as he is public defender represented.
And any response from the state?
This is just continued behavior along with the same victim. So I just, considering that she is the victim in the other case, significant cash was set there. I think some cash here is appropriate.
And I'd also like to add, if I have the chat, yeah, I'd also like to add that he has a child in common with Trisha H. And I'm requesting that instead of a no contact, it be no disorderly or violent contact towards Trisha H. instead of or conduct for childcare purposes.
All right. Very good. So, Attorney Wagner, can you correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the contact alleged in the complaint all happened before our January 5th court hearing. Is that correct? The allegation would still stand, the violation of the 72-hour no contact, but it would have occurred before we had court on the case. Is that correct?
I would add that the defendant and the victim are also co-defendants in a burglary case from earlier in the year as well. So that's another reason not for them to have contact. It looks like see, I don't have the 26 CM 29 case in Protect.
Okay.
So I can't really look at that to argue.
So I'm just talking about the complaint in 26 CM 84. The allegations, they all occurred before the court date that we had on January 5th. From what I can read, if that's wrong, feel free to correct me. I presided over the January 5th court hearing where I set a no contact. I'm not gonna order a contrary condition. So what I'll do is I'll set a signature bond. There's already $2,000 cash that's required on the 26 CM 29 case. I'll order that Mr. VARESE, you have no contact with Trisha H. That'll comport with the bail conditions in 26 CM 29. I'll order that you're banned from the 5100 block of Anton Drive. That also comports with the conditions in that case. So those should match up. I will enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. And then assuming there's nothing further, then we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Next is CHARYSSE LANGLOIS, occurring via Zoom.
Wait, what got ordered?
I'm sorry.
What did you order?
I ordered a signature bond with a no contact.
Okay.
With the victim and the 5100 block of Anton Drive, which are also the conditions of the 26 CM 29 case.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I just couldn't, was trying to look back at the other one and,
Why it's not in your system, so hopefully it will,
okay,
but.
okay.
All right. This is the state of Wisconsin versus Charisse Langlois, 26 CM 80. Can I have appearances, please?
The state appears by ADA Ben Wagner.
Ms. Langlois appears in person and in custody well, she appears via Zoom in custody, alongside Attorney Stingle. Charisse, do you have a copy of the criminal complaint?
Yes.
Okay. Are you still living at the Beacon?
Yes.
Okay, we have received a copy of the criminal complaint. We'll waive its formal reading. The address on it is correct.
So, ma'am, we have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this. I believe Attorney Stingle said you're eligible for a public defender. They'll work on getting somebody appointed for you if somebody hasn't already been appointed. I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
The state is asking for $500 cash bail, with the condition that the defendant be banned from the 700 block of Retke Avenue in Madison, and that she not use or possess any drug paraphernalia or controlled substances without a valid prescription. The defendants had bench warrants issued on November 12th of 2024, April 10th of 2024, and November 21st of 2023. And she has a lengthy history of similar conduct. If we just look back over 2025, she had she had 6 other prior criminal cases just from that year alone. Given her history and the failures to appear, I think that some cash is appropriate here.
I'll note there's a PSA filed with the court. List this as the new criminal activity as a 4 out of 6, the failure to appear as a 5 out of 6. Notes that there are prior misdemeanor and felony convictions, no prior violent convictions, but 2 or more failures to appear in the past 2 years. Recommends modest cash bail and pretrial supervision. Attorney Stingle.
Thank you. I'm requesting a signature bond here. Ms. Langlois hasn't missed court, as you heard, in the last year. And in her last 3 cases, she has sat for a lengthy period of time on modest cash. In her last case, she sat on a $300 cash bond until she got time served. In her second to last case, she sat on a $500 bond until she got time served. And then her third to last case, she sat on a $250 cash bond until it got dismissed. Based on that, if you set any amount of cash, history has shown us that you're just going to be sentencing her until she can file a pro se bail bond and then get a time served sentence. So this isn't an Act 3 offense. You can't take into part dangerousness. I'm requesting a signature bond here. And if the judge sees it's necessary, pretrial services.
State's response.
I was the one who charged this case. The property manager in this case has had continuous problems with Ms. Langlois being at the property. She's received also forfeitures for that kind of conduct, but that hasn't deterred her from coming back. Unfortunately, I don't know what else to do at this point to keep her from going to that property
All
and
right.
following her bail conditions.
All right, and I'll note in the complaint, it mentions the same thing, that Ms. Langlois is banned from the property, but quote, continually returns to the property and creates problems for many tenants as well as the property manager, end quote. I do think the state's recommendation is appropriate. I realize this is a non-violent offense, but there's also a repeater enhancer. And I have very little confidence that Ms. Langlois will comply with the conditions of bail if I set a signature bond. So I think cash is necessary to assure that compliance. I'll order $500 cash with the condition that Ms. Langlois is banned from the 700 block of Retke Avenue. I'll enter not guilty pleas on her behalf, and we are adjourned. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. I'll also order that she not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. Now we're adjourned. Thank you.
Next is Murillo Funes. Murillo Funes.
¿Entiendes de lo que le están acusando? ¿Usted quiere que le lea los cargos? Yes, please. ¿Está correcto? I don't have it. Estás dando de quedar I was saying something I'm not wanting.
Have you been sworn in today, Mr. Larson?
Yes, I have.
Okay, and you're aware you're still under oath?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the state of Wisconsin versus Eli Murillo Funes, 26 CM 83. Can I have appearances, please?
The state appears by ADA Ben Wagner.
Murillo Funes.
Mr. Mario Forense has received a copy of the criminal complaint. He is not waiving his formal reading. I would ask that the judge read the charges, the date of the charges, and the elements.
Well, I think in this case, we'll have the commissioner do that.
Well, I think the state actually, by statute, has to read the charges.
Oh, well, if the state would like to, then the state can go for it.
Sure, if it's requested, if he doesn't waive it, the state has to do it. Count one, obstructing an officer. The above named defendant on or about Wednesday, December 24th, 2025, in the city of Fitchburg, Dane County, Wisconsin, did knowingly obstruct an officer while such officer was doing an act in an official capacity and with lawful authority, contrary to section 946.41 sub 1, 939.51 sub 3, and Wisconsin,
Go ahead.
of the Wisconsin statutes, which is a class A misdemeanor, and upon conviction may be fined not more than $10,000 or imprisoned not more than 9 months or both. Count two is misdemeanor bail jumping. The above named defendant on December 22nd through December 24th of 2025 in the city of Fitchburg, Dane County, Wisconsin, having been charged with a misdemeanor and having been released from custody under chapter 969 of the Wisconsin statutes, did intentionally fail to comply with the terms of his bond, to wit, in 24 CM 2318. The defendant committed a new crime in violation of his bond in Dane County case number 24 CM 2318. Contrary to section 946.49 sub 1 sub A and 939.51 sub 3 sub A of the Wisconsin statutes, which is a class A misdemeanor, and upon conviction may be fined not more than $10,000 or imprisoned not more than 9 months or both. Count three, misdemeanor bail jumping. The above named defendant on December 22nd to December 24th, 2025 in the city of Fitchburg, Dane County, Wisconsin, having been charged with a misdemeanor and having been released from custody under chapter 969 of the Wisconsin statutes, did intentionally fail to comply with the terms of his bond, to wit, the defendant committed a new crime in violation of his bond in Dane County case 24 CT 663, contrary to section 946.49 sub 1 sub A, 939.51 sub 3 sub A of the Wisconsin statutes, which is a class A misdemeanor, and upon conviction may not be fined more than $10,000 or in prison for more than 9 months or both.
Thank you.
The address on the criminal complaint is not correct, but we don't have an address to update the court with. He is eligible for public defender representation.
All right, if you get an address, sir, you said the address wasn't good, but you don't have a new one to update.
Correct.
All right, if you get a better mailing address, please let us know. We send notices for court through the mail. So we'll have to have a good mailing address for you so you can get those notices. You have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this. They'll work on getting somebody appointed here quickly. I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
The state is asking for $500 cash bail. As noted, the defendant is on bail in 2 other cases. And he repeatedly lied to the police about his name in this case, in which the police had to end up using fast ID to identify the defendant. So I think that some cash is necessary here at this point, considering this is his 3rd open case.
Attorneys, actually, there was a PSA file that lists this case as a 4 out of 6 on the new criminal activity scale, 4 out of 6 on the failure to appear. It recommends a signature bond with pretrial supervision. Attorney Stengel.
I am requesting a signature bond as recommended by the public safety assessment. He has a bond hearing scheduled in front of Judge White on January 12th. So he will be able to, if he doesn't show up, he will have consequences very shortly, and this will run alongside his other cases. In his other cases, he has Attorney Benavides from our office representing him. He is currently working in roofing. I'd also like the court to know that he's on an immigration hold, so setting any amount of cash bond here is just academic.
A response from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So we've got a couple bail jumpings here, for new law violations. We also have the obstructing, due to the name, providing the false name. It's not the most serious crime in the world, but I think, when bail is being complied with, especially when there's a new law violation, I think typically some cash is appropriate. I'll set cash at $250. I believe that's only condition recommended by the state. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Were there other conditions recommended by the state or just the standard conditions of bond?
Just the standard conditions of bail.
Right. I'll highlight 2 of them. One's that you'll show up for court when court is scheduled. So it's going to be your responsibility to know when your next court hearings are. The other is that you'll follow the law. So as here, if you're alleged to have violated the law while you're on bond, you can face additional charges called bail jumping. You have a court case on Monday. You'll be before a judge then. Okay, this will be scheduled as a status with that. I will enter not guilty pleas on your behalf, and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Can I say some words?
You should talk with your attorney first, but I've already made my decision.
Okay, I just want to apologize. I made a mistake. I don't have family.
Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
cut you off.
So. Have a court date
Usted tiene corte
on Monday.
el lunes.
I'll note for the record, Attorney Stengel is speaking with your client.
Yeah. Hearing.
Usted tiene una audiencia y puede hablar con su
Thank you.
He's still here on Monday.
Next is Colleen McKessie, appearing via Zoom.
And do we have Ms. McKessie? You can just give us a thumbs up. All right, I see a thumbs up. This is the state of Wisconsin versus Colleen McKessie, 26 CF 73. Can I have appearances, please?
The state appears by ADA Ben Wagner.
Ms. McKessie appears through a mail slot via Zoom alongside Attorney Stingle. Colleen, have you received a copy of the criminal complaint?
Yes, I have.
Is the address on it correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, she has received a copy of the criminal complaint. The address on it is correct, and she is eligible for public defender representation.
So you have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this, ma'am. The public defender is gonna work on getting somebody assigned to you if they already haven't assigned somebody to your case. You know, sometimes that process can take a few weeks, sometimes it can take a few months. Guessing it'll be a little bit quicker in your case, okay? I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
The state's asking for $5,000 cash bail with the condition that the defendant not operate a motor vehicle and that she not consume or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. Cash is appropriate here because although she doesn't have any history of missing court, in this case, she traveled approximately 18 plus miles before her tires were deflated at speeds of over 100 miles an hour. If her tires were not deflated, she could have seriously injured herself or others. And who knows how long she would have gone. She also refused to listen to law enforcement officers when they were telling her to get out of the vehicle once they had stopped. I think the fleeing here, this kind of behavior shows that this person is going to be someone who is not going to be a good risk to show up to court. So I think that some cash is appropriate.
All right. There was a PSA filed, lists this case is a 5 out of 6 on the new criminal activity scale, a 5 out of 6 on the failure to appear. Notes that the current offense isn't considered violent. I think given what's alleged, that's arguable. It does note that there was pending charges at the time of the offense, prior misdemeanor and felony convictions. No prior violent convictions, but one prior failure to appear in the past 2 years. Prior failures to appear older than 2 years old, and a prior sentence to incarceration. Recommends moderate cash bail, pretrial supervision, and electronic monitoring. And am I right? The state's recommending $5,000 that Ms. McKessie not be in any motor vehicle, that she not consume or possess any controlled substances, or possess any drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. Was that the entirety of the state's recommendation?
It was not operate a motor vehicle.
Not
I think she can be in one,
Okay, yep,
but just not drive.
yep. All right, Attorney Stingle.
Yes, I'm asking for $500 cash with pretrial services. Based on this case and the facts of this case and her other Columbia County case, they're both involving some allegations of drug use. Pretrial services will help her monitor that and get her connected with treatment. I'd like to know I'd like the court to know that she works in home health care. She currently has 3 kids. She's lived in Dane County for the last 15 years. And as the public safety assessment correctly identifies, this is a non-violent, a statutorily violent offense. So I think, yes, while some cash is appropriate, $500 is more than sufficient to ensure that someone who is public defender eligible will come to court.
Very good. I'm gonna read from the complaint here. I'm reading from page 4 of the complaint. It says Officer Bello reports that speeds range from as low as 107 miles per hour to as high as 127 miles per hour. It took at least 16 miles. I believe the state said 18 miles for the pursuit to be terminated. 3 out of 4 of the tires were disabled. Officers had to use a pit maneuver a couple of times, which involves the officer driving their vehicle into the defendant's vehicle. This was exceptionally dangerous. I would be inclined to go above $5,000 if the state had recommended more. I'll agree with the state. I'm going to order $5,000 cash, that Ms. McKessie not operate a motor vehicle, that she not consume or possess any controlled substances and drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. And I'll order that pretrial services will be involved to monitor for drug non-use of drug compliance. I'll order that Ms. McKessie is to be connected with pretrial services before she's released. I will enter not guilty pleas to the misdemeanors. Will the time limits for the felonies be kept or waived, or I'm sorry, for the prelims on the felonies be kept or waived?
We'll keep the time limits.
Very good. We'll keep the time limits in place then, and we are adjourned. Thank you, ma'am.
Next is Devon BIZZELL-PRICE. Devon BIZZELL-PRICE. Network, please stay on yellow X.
And how do you say your last name, sir?
BIZZELL-PRICE.
BIZZELL-PRICE?
Yes, sir.
Very good. This is the state of Wisconsin versus Devon BIZZELL-PRICE, 26 CM 79. Can I have appearances, please?
The state appears by ADA Ben Wagner.
Mr. BIZZELL-PRICE appears in person and in custody alongside Attorney Stingle. We have received a copy of the criminal complaint. We're going to waive its formal reading. The address on the criminal complaint is correct. And I am unsure at the moment whether or not he qualifies for public defender representation.
So if you'd like to have the public defender represent you, you should reach out to them to complete an evaluation.
Yes, sir.
There's a waiting list for attorneys, so you'll want to do that as soon as possible, so other people aren't jumping in front of you on the
Yes, sir.
waiting list. Address was good. I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
No objection to a signature bond, but with the condition the defendant should not be at or around the 7-Eleven on University Avenue.
Yes, sir.
Defense has no objections.
Right. I'm gonna order a signature bond with the standard conditions of bond. I'm not gonna order the no contact. So I'll highlight 2 of the standard conditions of bond. One is that you'll follow the law. The
Yes,
other is
sir.
that you'll appear for court when court is scheduled. It's your responsibility to appear for court.
Yes, sir.
If you are accused of violating the law while you're on bond, you could be additionally charged with a bail jumping charge. So make sure you're doing what you need to do and not picking up any new charges, okay?
Yes, sir.
I will enter a not guilty plea on your behalf and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank
Good luck, sir.
you. Next is MONTEASE Jones. MONTEASE Jones. Please have the evidence.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus MONTEASE Jones, 26 CF 39. Can I have appearances, please?
The state appears by ADA Ben Wagner.
Mr. Jones appears in person and in custody alongside Attorney Stingle. We have received a copy of the criminal complaint. We're going to waive its formal reading. The address on the criminal complaint is not correct. It should be updated to 405 South Bird Street, apartment 207, Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, 53590.
Very good.
And he is eligible for our services.
And I don't know if people listening on the stream can hear it, but we have a lot of construction noises. So if you hear us speaking up or talking loud, that's why. Sir, you have the right to have an attorney represent you on a case like this. You're eligible for a public defender. They're going to work on getting somebody appointed for you. It's a process that can sometimes take a few weeks, sometimes a few months, okay? So just hang in there. I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
No objection to a signature bond, but with the condition that the defendant not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription, and that he not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license.
No objection from the defense.
I'm inclined to order pretrial services. There was a prior for believe here it was heroin. The prior was for heroin. Here it was oxycodone. But any objection to me ordering pretrial services for the drug monitoring?
Yes, I would object to that. The defendant is on probation. He has a lengthy 5-year probation sentence, so he will be monitored. He is currently at the Aveda School studying to be a barber. It would prohibit him from working with clients if he were to order pretrial services, and he have to wear an ankle bracelet. I would also like the court to note that he has 50-50 custody with his 2 children, ages 4 and 11.
Any response from the state?
No,
Right. And probation, they're doing drug monitoring and all that? And how frequently, if so?
So he is subject to random drug testing through probation at any time.
It sounds like you have a lot at stake, sir.
That's right.
Right. How old are your kids?
4 and 11.
4 and 11? Okay. I'm guessing you don't want them to see you wearing that outfit, right? Okay. These are serious allegations. If somebody's on a lengthy probation sentence, and then they're accused of, possessing drugs again, that could indicate, that there's a treatment need there. And I find typically when substances are being used or abused, there's usually something deeper than that it's not the drugs themselves that are necessarily a problem, but the reason the drugs are being used. If that's the case, and I don't, determine guilt or innocence at a hearing like this, I'd encourage you to dig a little deep into that, maybe through therapy or some counseling, okay? If you're not sure how to get that set up, you can reach out to your probation agent, all right? But I don't want to see you back in court again, unless it's to deal with this case and get it wrapped up, all right? Kids need their dad to be there, all right? I want you to be there. I'll order a signature bond today. I'll order the conditions that you not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. I'll order that you not operate a motor vehicle without a valid license. I won't order pretrial services, but these narcotic drugs, they're something totally different. They screw with your brain chemistry. They're not good stuff. So, you know, if it's a problem, I really encourage you to get some help sooner rather than later. Because like I said, we want you to be here, not for us and what you can provide to the community, than what you can do for your kids, okay? Very good. This is a felony charge. Will the time limits be kept or waived?
Something that's. Absolutely.
We're gonna waive time limits on the preliminary hearing.
Very good. Well, I'll waive the time limits then. I've got a 4-year-old boy, so I know how precious those moments are, and when they're gone, they're gone. So don't waste it over something dumb. All right?
Absolutely.
Very good. I know you can do it. I wouldn't take a chance. There's lots of people today who I haven't taken a chance on, all right? So please take this opportunity. We could come back quick for bail, and there could be a large amount of cash set, and you can sit and blah, blah, blah. Or you can just do what you need to do, work through this, and, you know, do your best to be there for your kids, okay?
Absolutely.
Very good. We are adjourned.
This
Good luck, sir.
Next is Samuel Salgado, appearing via Zoom.
So is count 2 being amended or dismissed?
Let me take a look at the emails and see where it left off.
I can just know, I don't see an amended complaint. I just, it may not have been pulled in or something like that. All right. This is the state of Wisconsin versus Samuel Salgado Mills, 26 CF 71. Can I have appearances, please?
The state appears by ADA Ben Wagner.
Mr. Salgado Mills appears via Zoom through a meal slot alongside Attorney Stingle. Samuel, do you have a copy of the criminal complaint?
¿Ya me dice?
Do you have a copy of the criminal complaint?
Copy, criminal, no, no, that's done. One paper that, es que no entiendo. Wow,
Samuel, do you understand English?
so little.
Do we still have the interpreter around?
We can pop them up. What we'll do is we'll adjourn this case until we can get an interpreter. Although I would note, it looks like, from what I recall from the complaint, that police had conversations in English, but that may not be correct, or they may not have noted that an interpreter was used, or officers may have been speaking in Spanish. But we'll get an interpreter just to be sure. So we'll adjourn the case. We'll see you shortly, Mr. Mills. We'll get an interpreter for you, okay?
Ya no te lo entendí. Okay, I'm gonna set this.
You said Hoffman?
Yeah. Mr. Hop, this big one.
All right. Well, we're ready. This is the state of Wisconsin versus Jeffrey Hoffman, 25 CM 2618. Can I have appearances, please?
The state appears by ADA Ben Wagner.
There's somebody with a similar name.
Mr. Hoffman appears in person and in custody alongside Attorney Stingle. We have received a copy of the criminal complaint. We'll waive its formal reading. The address on the criminal complaint is correct. And Mr. Hoffman is eligible for our services.
You need a moment, Attorney Wagner?
No,
Okay.
I'm good.
So, you have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this. You're eligible for the public defender. They're gonna work on getting somebody appointed for you. can take a few weeks, sometimes it can take a few months, okay? So just hang in there. I find problem causing the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
No objection to a signature bond, but with no acts or threats of violence towards any of the alleged victims in these cases, or in this case, that would be Debbie, DEBBIT, Isabel T, and Kelly T.
How do you spell Isabel?
ISABELLE.
And Kelly is just KELLY.
Yep.
All right.
And I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Were you asking for no contact or no violent or disorderly conduct?
No acts or threats.
Then the defense has no objection to the signature bond and the no acts or threats against the victims in the case.
You know if the 72-hour no contact was enforced or not? Or I'm sorry. Yeah, this was a case that was served with or issued with a warrant that was authorized by the court, so it'd be well outside the 72-hour no contact window. So I'll enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. I'll order a signature bond with the condition that you make no acts or threats of violence to Debbie T, Isabel T, or Kelly T. This is a bond order. Bond is flexible, which means if there's new cases or new allegations, state could come back to court and say, hey, we just want no contact with Debbie T, there's still problems. And if there are violations, or there is stuff going on, that could be escalated to a no contact. I don't know if you guys live together or not, but if you have a no contact with somebody you live with, you essentially don't live with that at that address anymore. So please do what you need to do to take care of business, okay? All right. Believe I said it, but I'll enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Good luck, sir.
Next is Tracy VALLO for a forfeiture.
I believe Fred Svensson's on his way. Or Jim Larson, excuse me, he's coming back.
Stay on yours.
This is Dane County versus Tracy VALLO, 26 FO 44. Can I have appearances, please?
The county appears by ADA Ben Wagner.
And are you Ms. VALLO? And is that's yes?
Yes.
All right, so the state has decided to charge your case as an ordinance violation instead of as a criminal violation. I expect there will be an offer to resolve your case today. What that means is whether you decide to resolve today and enter a plea or not, you will be unconditionally released from custody for this case. However, if you have other cases, they could affect your release. And I failed to mention it, the charge is a county disorderly conduct. Is there an offer to resolve?
If the defendant pleads no contest, we'd recommend court costs.
So you have an absolute right to plead not guilty, and I can set this case for further proceedings. Otherwise, you can enter a no contest or guilty plea, and you'd be fined $114.50. Payment of that amount can be arranged through the clerk of courts. You'd have 60 days to pay. Would you like to resolve your case today?
Yes.
All right, and would you like to enter a no contest plea then?
Yes.
All right, then I'll accept your no contest plea. I'll adjudicate you guilty. I'll enter a fine in the amount of $114.50. And we are adjourned unless you have a question for me. Okay, then we are adjourned. All right, thank you. Marcus Swift.
Next is Lee Wilson for bail bondsman. I was informed Jim, not his name,
Okay, so very good, thank you.
you stand on the yellow X.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus Lee Wilson, 25 CF 1186. Can I have appearances, please?
State appears by ADA Ben Wagner.
Ms. Wilson appears in person and in custody alongside Attorney Stingle. Since this is a bail bond hearing, I'll just say that the address is correct.
All right. So it looks like this case was filed May 2025, where past the initial appearance, there's a non-appearance in July where a bench warrant was issued. The signature bond was forfeited. And then it looks like Ms. Wilson, there was notice of a forfeiture. Then it looks like about a week later, Ms. Wilson appeared for court. It looks like that warrant was quashed. And then there was a non-appearance in front of the judge. The Judge Schlipper issued a bench warrant. That happened on September 25th, 2025. We're now early January 2026. What's the state's position on bond?
I think that $500 cash would be appropriate here. As the court just mentioned, the defendant has been out on a bench warrant since September 25th. And I would also note that she does have other missed court appearances in the past as well, from November 10th of 2023 and on back, there was one in July of 2015. I think since there's been 2 missed court appearances already in this particular case, that some cash is now appropriate to assure appearance.
All right.
I'm requesting a signature bond here. She does have an attorney in her other case, Nancy Moore, who she's been in contact with. She has resided in Dane County all of her life and she is indigent. So I think a signature bond is appropriate.
Well, there have been 2 missed court appearances. You gotta make sure you're appearing for court, okay? I'm going to order $500 cash with the condition, same as before, that you not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. This will get set for further proceedings by the judge. I believe that's all I can do for the parties today, so we are adjourned. Thank you. Okay. What you missed, okay. We'll set up for a pre-trial conference, all right? Very good. Yeah.
Good luck.
All right.
Actually, another one should be called. Should we just answer it? Exactly what's happening in my thoughts.
I'm sorry, Jim, I sent you the wrong player.
Okay.
I'm
I
sorry.
can be here if he does. But no one say what's up. Yes, that's good.
We have to pick a quick break.
Yeah, and it's, well, it's,
Very good. Okay, I'm recalling the case, State of Wisconsin versus Sam. Oh, there we go. I'm recalling the case, State of Wisconsin versus Samuel Salgado Mills, 26 CF 71. Can I have appearances again, please?
Oh, okay.
Se abre la sesión otra vez el estado de Wisconsin contra Samuel Salgado Mills, 26 CF 497, las comparecencias.
Okay. Can you hear us all right, Mr. Salgado?
¿No se escucha, señor Salgado? ¿No se
Sí.
escucha? Yes.
Sí.
Gracias.
And Ms. Larson, you're still aware that you're under oath?
Yes, I am.
Very good. We've got, again, the state appearing by Attorney Ben Wagner.
El estado representado por el fiscal
Got
Van
Attorney
Wagner
Stengel representing Mr.
y el
Salgado.
abogado Steigner representando al señor Salgado.
And then we'll start with you, Attorney Stengel.
Y ahora vamos a empezar con la abogada.
Okay.
Actually, we'll start with the state regarding count 2.
Primero vamos a empezar con el estado acerca del cargo número 2.
At this point, I understand that the charge was the inappropriate charge for that count.
Yo entiendo que ese cargo fue inapropiado para ese cargo.
So instead of amending it right now, the state will just dismiss count 2.
En vez de enmendarlo, el estado va a simplemente desestimar o desechar el cargo número 2.
And we'll likely file an amended information at some other point.
Y luego en el futuro cercano vamos a presentar una información acusatoria enmendada.
Any objection to me dismissing count 2?
¿Alguna
No
objeción?
objection to
Desestimar
dismissing count
cargo número
2.
2, ninguna objeción.
And count 2 will be dismissed.
No entendí eso último, disculpa.
Desestimaron el cargo número 2. They dismissed count 2. Lo desecharon, lo borraron. El cargo número 2 lo quitaron. They took it away. They dismissed it.
Ok, sí, a mí me dijeron algo, ¿sabes? Porque en verdad yo no siento que esté preso por algo que yo haya hecho.
So,
I'm gonna defer to Attorney.
yeah.
Okay.
Samuel, I'm going to interrupt you. We
Le voy
don't want to talk about any of the facts of the case on the record.
Le voy a interrumpir. Es la abogada que está hablando, ¿verdad? Dice que usted no debería hablar sobre los hechos del caso ahora en esta audiencia.
Ok.
What I'm going to ask you is, do you still have the copy of the criminal complaint? in front of you?
Entonces, mi pregunta es que si usted todavía tiene copia de la denuncia criminal allí con usted, la hoja de los cargos, ¿usted tiene esa hoja?
Is that paper? Sorry, is that paper? Yeah. Ok, yeah, sí.
Yes.
Can
No estoy
you-
seguro, pero creo que sí, la oficial me dice que sí.
I'm not sure, but the officer says that, yes.
Okay. So have you seen the copy of the criminal complaint? Do you understand what you're being charged with? I know it's in English. Do you want us to read it to you?
¿Usted ha visto esa denuncia criminal? Yo sé que está en inglés, pero yo quiero saber si usted entiende de lo que le están acusando. ¿Usted entiende
No
lo que le están
entiendo, no lo entiendo.
He says, I do not understand.
Okay, then at this point, I'm not going to waive the formal reading of the criminal complaint, and I'm going to ask that the ADA read the charge and the potential penalties, please.
Entonces, yo no renuncio a la lectura de la denuncia criminal. Yo pido que el fiscal le lea cuáles son los cargos y las penas posibles.
Can the state point me to the site that mandates the prosecutor read the charges?
El Estado me puede señalar donde dice que el fiscal tiene que leer los cargos.
I haven't looked at it for quite a long time, but I remember it was there.
Yo tengo tiempo que no lo he visto, pero yo recuerdo que estaba allí.
Let me do some quick legal research.
El fiscal está haciendo un poco de investigación. Perdón, espere un momento.
I did kind of a ham-fisted search and I wasn't able to find it.
De las veces que yo he caído preso, a mí no me han dejado demostrar las evidencias que tengo.
Perdón, otra vez. Repite eso, perdón.
O sea, que anteriormente yo estuve preso y no me han dejado demostrar las evidencias.
Ajá. So,
Eso me va a ayudar a mí un montón, las evidencias.
Sí,
So,
sí.
So Samuel, I'm gonna cut you off again. We don't want to talk about any of the facts of the case on the record right now.
Sí, Samuel, en esta audiencia no queremos hablar acerca de los hechos ni las evidencias, ¿ok?
¿Y cómo podemos hacer justicia?
And so how
Con la
would we
evidencia es lo
do
único
it?
que yo me salvo, ¿verdad?
Yes, so you will have on it, if you're eligible for public defender representation, a public defender will be appointed to your case and you will be able to talk about all of the facts of the case and all of potential defenses in the case, but that is not what this hearing is for. We're just talking about whether or not you get to go home today.
Ajá. Entonces, vamos a ver si usted se califica para un abogado defensor público y luego usted puede hablar con esa persona acerca de todos los detalles y las evidencias de este caso, ¿verdad? En el futuro, ¿verdad? El propósito de esta audiencia es para leer los cargos y fijar las condiciones de fianza, o sea, para determinar si usted va a poder ir a casa el día de hoy. ¿Ok?
Está bien. Sí que necesito trabajar.
Yes, because I need to work.
I'm looking at
That's-
970.02 sub 1 sub A.
Estoy mirando el estatuto 972.1A.
97105, for arraignment, it says, the
75.
district attorney shall deliver the defendant a copy of the information in felony cases. In all cases shall read the information or complaint to the defendant unless the defendant waives such reading.
All right,
I think that's where I got it from.
your turn then.
So in count one, the defendant's charged with felony bail jumping. The above named defendant on or about Wednesday, January 7th, 2026, in the city of Sun Prairie, Dane County, Wisconsin, having been charged with a felony and having been released from custody under 969 of the Wisconsin statutes. Did you need me to stop? So you can-
No, I'm wondering, because I'm doing it consecutive, I'm just going to do it in Spanish. You want me to just do both of them in Spanish and you don't have to do the English, or do you want to do the English and I'll do the Spanish?
It's up to you.
I wouldn't object to the interpreter just reading it in
Yeah,
Spanish.
that's fine.
Okay.
1 and 3, right? Card charges
1 and 3.
Okay.
1 and 3.
Señor, le voy a leer en español cuáles son los cargos, ¿ok? Ok, entonces dicen que el acusado miércoles el 7 de enero 2026 en la ciudad de Sun Prairie, condado de Dane, Wisconsin, y usted había sido acusado de un delito mayor anteriormente y estaba libre de custodia según los estatutos. Usted a propósito no cumplió con las condiciones de fianza, o sea, la condición de que usted no volviera a cometer ningún delito en el condado de Columbia, número 25 SF497. Contra los estatutos de Wisconsin, y eso se considera como un delito mayor de clase H, y al ser condenado puede recibir una multa máxima de $10,000 o hasta 6 años de prisión o las dos cosas. Ese es el primer cargo. El cargo número 3, porque desecharon el cargo número 2. El cargo número 3 es conducta desordenada, y dicen que miércoles el 7 de enero 2026 en la ciudad de Sun Prairie, condado de Dane, Wisconsin, en un lugar público, usted realizó una conducta que se considera como violenta, abusiva, indecente, profana, bulliciosa, o sea, una conducta que provocó un escándalo, y eso es en contra de los estatutos de Wisconsin. Es un delito menor de clase B y al ser condenado puede recibir una multa máxima de $1,000 o hasta 90 días de cárcel o las dos cosas. Ok.
¿Puedo hablar?
May I speak?
Samuel, I'm going to ask that you don't speak just because we want to make sure your rights get protected.
Samuel, yo voy a pedir que usted no hable. Queremos asegurar de que sus derechos sean protegidos.
Está bien, sí. Es que siento que me están confundiendo de persona porque yo no he discutido con nadie. Pero está bien.
Yeah, I was just confusing the person. ¿Usted confundió de persona?
Yo no he discutido con nadie, yo no hablo con nadie. Yo nada más
Okay.
ayudo a un muchacho a a hacer las diligencias de ¿sabes?
Samuel, I'm going to cut you off again. I'm going to ask that we don't talk about any of the facts of the case right now.
Bueno,
We're
está
just
bien.
going to talk about whether or not you're going to
Ajá.
go home today.
Entonces, ahora solamente vamos a hablar acerca de que si puede ir a casa hoy, ¿ok?
So, is the address good on the complaint?
We know that.
Necesito
Samuel, do you live at 544 East Schiffer Street, apartment
Like-
10, Portage,
No.
Wisconsin?
Yo me estoy quedando en el shelter de Madison.
I'm at the shelter in Madison.
Could we update the address to the Beacon?
Entonces vamos a cambiar la dirección al Beacon, que es el shelter de Madison.
Está bien.
That's fine.
Pueden preguntarle a esa gente para que vean que a mí me gusta ayudar a las personas. Yo no le hago daño.
And so something about helping people and I didn't do it either. So,
Okay.
okay.
I'm unsure if Mr. Mills is eligible for our representation at the
No
moment.
estoy seguro si el señor Salgado Mills se califica para un defensor público.
So you have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this, Mr. Mills. If you'd like to have the public defender represent you, you should reach out to them to have them conduct an evaluation.
Señor Salgado Mills, usted en un caso como este tiene derecho a la representación de un abogado. Entonces recomendamos que usted contacte la oficina de defensor público para ver si se califica para uno de esos abogados.
The PSA lists this as a 1 out of 6 on the new criminal activity failure to appear scales, and it recommends a signature bond. What's the state's recommendation?
El reporte presentencia recomienda 1 de 6 de volver a delinquir, así que simplemente recomienda una fianza bajo firma. Vamos a escuchar la recomendación del Estado.
The state is asking for $1,500 cash bail,
El Estado va a pedir una fianza en efectivo de $1,500,
as well as the conditions that the defendant not have any contact with Chloe A or Pearl N.
y con la condición de que el acusado no tenga contacto con Chloe A ni con Pearl N.
And that he not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription.
Que no use ni posea sustancias ilícitas ni parafernalias de drogas a menos que tenga una receta válida.
And that he be banned from the Crumble parking lot in Sun Prairie.
Y una prohibición del parqueadero de what parking lot? Crumble, del parqueadero de Crumble en Sun Prairie.
The defendant's out on bail in a Columbia County case where he's also charged with exposing himself to children.
Entonces el acusado está libre bajo fianza de un caso del condado de Columbia por mostrarse o exponerse a menores de edad.
Es una
Given the
historia falsa y tengo evidencia que la hija se pasa escribiéndome.
We can mute Mr.
La hija se
Salgado.
pasa escribiéndome.
Yeah.
dile.
Mute.
Y tengo
Given the
evidencia.
Yeah.
Given the circumstances in this case,
Dado las circunstancias en este caso,
I think that some cash is appropriate at this point.
creo que una fianza en efectivo sería apropiado.
All right, and just so the record's clear, I muted Mr. Salgado. It seems like he keeps wanting to talk about the facts in his case.
Para que conste en el acta, parece que el
He's been
señor
contacted
Salgado.
by his attorney. That's why he was muted.
Ajá, entonces,
Attorney Sting.
para que, let me just interpret that, please. Para que conste en el acta, el señor Salgado ha continuado queriendo comentar sobre los hechos en este caso y a pesar de los consejos de su abogada y por eso lo hemos silenciado. Pusimos silencio en la computadora. Ok, abogada.
Yes, now, the defense is requesting a signature bond, which is what is recommended in the public safety assessment. He has never missed a court date in his life. He's never been convicted of any crimes in his life. With the fact that the state has dismissed the lewd and lascivious charge, I don't think the $1,500 that they're asking for is now appropriate.
Can you stop, please? Okay. Entonces, la defensa va a pedir una fianza bajo firma. Yo no, y según el reporte preinvestigación, entonces eso es lo que recomiendan también. Y puesto que el Estado ha desestimado el cargo número 2, yo creo que una fianza de $1,500 no sería apropiado. Sorry, go ahead.
Thank you. With him now only being charged with a bail jumping and a disorderly conduct, the $1,500 is more than even the $1,000 the state could impose as a fine to penalize him from the disorderly conduct.
Y entonces, desacato las condiciones de fianza y conducta desordenada Entonces, la fianza de 1,500 sería más de la multa posible de $1,000 que el Estado le ha querido poner.
I'd also like to point out these are not Act 3 eligible offenses statutorily, so the commissioner cannot take into account violence.
Ujú. Él nunca ha faltado corte, no tiene antecedentes penales y en estos cargos no hubo violencia.
Based on all that, I think a signature bond is appropriate here.
Basado en eso, yo creo que una fianza bajo firma sería apropiado.
Any response from the state?
Una respuesta del Estado.
No.
No.
So we have a case here with behavior that's alleged to be similar as behavior, similar allegations in another case.
Y tenemos un caso aquí con conducta que parece que es muy parecido a lo que se dio en otro caso.
I think that warrants cash. I'm just not sure what the correct amount might be.
Yo creo que eso amerita una fianza en efectivo, pero aún no estoy seguro de qué sería la cantidad apropiada.
I think $500 is a good place to start.
Creo que $500 es un buen punto de partida.
I'm also going to order no contact with Chloe A or Pearl N.
Y voy a ordenar que no tenga contacto con Chloe A ni Pearl M.
And I'm going to order that Mr. Salgado Mills not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription.
Y voy a ordenar que el Salgado Mills no consuma ni posea sustancias ilícitas a menos que tenga una receta válida.
That he's banned from the Crumble parking lot in Sun Prairie.
Y una prohibición de estar en el lote de estacionamiento de Crumble de Sun Prairie.
I'll enter a not guilty plea to count 3.
Voy a anotar una declaración de no culpable por el cargo número 3
Will the time limits for the prelim be kept or waived?
y van a conservar las fechas límites para celebrar una audiencia preliminar.
We'll keep time limits.
Sí, conservamos las fechas límites.
Okay, and then we are adjourned. Thank you, sir.
Con eso se levanta la sesión. Gracias, señor.
Next is Hayden Gomez.
Thank you.
Got it. Here's the paperwork. And the others.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus Hayden Gomez, 26 CF 63. Can I have appearances, please?
The state appears by ADA Ben Wagner.
This is.
Okay, Mr. Gamez appears in person and in custody alongside Attorney Stingle. We have received a copy of the criminal complaint. The address on the criminal complaint is correct. We're gonna waive the formal reading of the criminal complaint. And I'd like to inform the court that he is eligible for public defender representation.
So you have the right to have an attorney represent you on a case like this. You're eligible for the public defender. They're gonna work on getting somebody appointed to your case as soon as possible. I'll note there's also a DOC hold for, and do you say your last name, Gamez? Gomez?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a DOC hold for Mr. Gomez. What's the state's recommendation for bail today?
No objection to a signature bond, but with the condition that the defendant not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription.
And if I failed to say it, I find probable cause in the complaint. What are Attorney Stengel on behalf of your client?
We have no objection to the signature bond or the conditions of not possessing drugs without the valid prescription.
All right. I'll order a signature bond then with the condition that you not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. I'll also order that you not use or possess any dangerous weapons or facsimiles of dangerous weapons. I'll note that when you're found in a stall with a fake gun and a knife. That's concerning to me, especially given the circumstances in which you were found. I'll enter a not guilty plea to count 2. Count 1 is a felony, which means you're entitled to have a prelim within a certain amount of time. Will the time limits for that prelim be kept or waived?
We're not going to waive time limits.
Right, time limits will be kept and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Good luck, sir.
It's right, sir. Next is Graham Hickerman appearing via Zoom.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus Graham Haferman, 23 CF 2523. Can I have appearances, please?
The state appears by ADA Ben Wagner.
Mr. Hefferman appears via Zoom in custody. Graham, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a copy of the criminal complaint?
Yeah.
Do you understand what you're being charged with?
Wait. Yeah.
Do you understand you're being charged with possession of narcotic drugs?
Yes.
Yeah. Is the address on the criminal complaint correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have received a copy of the criminal complaint. The address on it is correct. We'll waive its formal reading. And he is eligible for our services.
All right. So it looks like there was an initial appearance scheduled in 2023. Mr. Haferman failed to appear at that. An arrest warrant was issued where there was a return on warrant yesterday. What's the state's position? I find probable cause in the complaint. What's the state's recommendation?
Your Honor, I think that cash is appropriate here. It looks like the notes in our file show that the defendant was served with a citation in person for an IA on the date back in 2023, October 30th. He didn't appear at that point, and it's been now 2.5 years or over. Yeah, about 2.5 years. So I think that some cash is appropriate. Otherwise, ask for no use or possession of controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription.
All right. Attorney Stengel?
Yes, I'm, as he is on appeal hold and bail at this point is just going to be academic. I'm requesting a signature bond. He currently has no open cases, which means he has stayed out of trouble for the last 2.5 years. I would also like to note that he's lived in Dane County his whole life. Based on that and the fact that he's going to be, held accountable for his period of absconding by the probation agent, I think a signature bond is more than appropriate.
All right. Any response from the state?
No.
All right. It's a long time to not show up for court, especially while you're on supervision, with an active warrant for just over 2 years. I'm going to order $250 cash with the condition that you not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. In regards to the prelim,
We're not going to waive time limits.
we'll keep time limits in place then, and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Next is Michael Garrett. Mr. Garrett.
So I guess.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus Michael Garrett, 26 CF 70. Can I have appearances, please?
The state appears by ADA Ben Wagner.
Mr. Garrett appears in custody and in person alongside Attorney Stengel. He has received a copy of the criminal complaint. He's going to waive its formal reading. The address on it is correct, and he is eligible for our services.
You're eligible for a public defender, which means they're gonna work on getting an attorney appointed to your case. If you don't already have an attorney appointed to another case, it can sometimes take a couple of weeks to a few months, so just hang in there. I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
The state's asking for $25,000 cash bail, along with the conditions that if he posts, that he be placed on pretrial services with GPS, that he not leave Dane County, and that he have no contact with LWJM, and not possess any dangerous weapons, and not reside at any location where firearms are kept. The defendant has already posted $1,500 cash in his current open felony. And it's also worth noting that both of the defendant's open cases involve firearms as well. This is an extremely dangerous case in which the defendant pulled a gun on the victim and then has the victim go to several different ATMs to withdraw money. The victim goes into one of them and tells them that he's being robbed. He gets into a complete stranger's car in an attempt to flee the scene. The defendant has the victim's financial cards on him at the time of arrest. This is an Act 3 case with serious gun charges. I think that high cash bail is appropriate to protect the victim and the public.
All right, and just to be clear, the state's asking for $25,000 cash, pretrial services if he posts GPS, condition that Mr. Garrett cannot leave Dane County, that he's to have no contact with LWJM, that he's not to use or possess any dangerous weapons or reside where dangerous weapons are kept, and that was it?
Correct.
Did I miss something? Attorney Stengel?
Yes, I am requesting a signature bond with a recommendation for pretrial services. He is eligible for our services. He is currently represented by myself and Tracy Lencioni. He currently has one kid on the way and is enrolled at MATC. If we put him on a $25,000 cash bond, he will not be able to continue to go to school, and, you know, continue to build his life going forward. So I'm asking for the signature bond. This case is going to track alongside his other open felony case, which already has $1,500, which for someone who's public defender represented is a lot of money. I would also like to note that I have been in good contact with him throughout my course of my representation of him.
So it looks like there's a couple open cases, 25 CM 1416, which alleges that Mr. Garrett potentially pointed a firearm at another and committed disorderly conduct with the use of a dangerous weapon. 25 CF 1894 alleges that he fled or eluded an officer and he committed misdemeanor bail jumping.
It's just.
New case has even more serious charges. Does the state have a response?
I have no other response. I mean, I'd just be reiterating what I've already argued.
Right. Well, given the information before the court, I'm going to order the $25,000 cash. I'm going to order pretrial services with GPS, that Mr. Garrett be connected to pretrial services before he's released, that he cannot leave Dane County, that he's to have no contact with LWJM, that he not use or possess any dangerous weapons or reside where any weapons are kept. Anytime guns are involved, the dangerousness just escalates, especially when they're being used intentionally. Armed robberies are becoming a serious threat to the citizens in this community. This court will take those charges very seriously. You know, there's in addition the bail jumping, the felony and misdemeanor bail jumpings. You know, it's if there are allegations that somebody is not just violating the conditions of their bond, but doing so in a pretty extravagant, serious, dangerous manner. That's just something I have to consider seriously. I think an Act 3 analysis warrants a high amount of cash to protect the public. I understand that that will likely come with consequences for Mr. Garrett, but it's going to be important for this case to get sorted out. And for there to be hopefully no further allegations and certainly no escalated, escalated and serious allegations. I'll enter not guilty pleas as to any misdemeanors. 3 of these charges are felonies. I assume the time limits for the prelim will be kept.
Yes, we'll keep time limits.
All right, we'll keep those time limits in place then, and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Right this way, sir. Next is Tavares Jones. Here's your paperwork, please. Get on the bill. There you go.
This is the state of Wisconsin versus Tavares Jones, 26 CM 82. Can I have appearances, please?
The state appears by ADA Ben Wagner.
Mr. Jones appears in person and in custody alongside Attorney Stingle. Mr. Jones has received a copy of the criminal complaint. We're going to waive its formal reading. The address on the criminal complaint is correct. And Mr. Jones is eligible for our services.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you in cases like this. You're eligible for the public defender. They're going to work on getting somebody appointed to your case. If you have representation through them on another case, usually that person can get appointed to the new case pretty quick, all right? I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
No objection to a signature bond, but with the condition that the defendant not have any contact with Rosebud S. or any of her children, that he be banned from the 600 block of Park Circle in Sun Prairie, that he not use or possess any alcohol, that he not possess any dangerous weapons. In this case, the victim enforced the 72-hour no contact provision. And while the defendant has lived at the Park Circle address for quite a while, this incident began after the victim served him with a 28-day eviction notice. He PBT'd at a 0.24 in this case, and he was out on bail for an OWI first causing injury. So while a signature bond is appropriate, I think those additional conditions are also appropriate. So I would ask the court to impose them.
All right. So say it's asking for a signature bond, no contact with Rosebud S. or her children, a ban from the 600 block of Park Circle in Sun Prairie, that Mr. Jones not use or possess any alcohol, and that he not use or possess any dangerous weapons. Is that correct?
Correct.
Thanks. Attorney Stengel? I'll start by noting there's a PSA filed with a 5 out of 6 on the new criminal activity, 3 out of 6 on the failure to appear. Recommends modest cash bail with pretrial supervision.
I have no objection to the signature bond. However, I would object to the geographic area bond of the 600 block of Park Circle, as that is where he lives, and has lived for some time now. I'd like the court to know that he has lived in Dane County for the last 6 years, and that he is currently represented by Attorney Kavanaugh, and that he got a signature bond in his open case in 6/23/20 on 6/23/25, and he's made both of his court appearances out of custody since. And
All right.
Mhm.
Any response from the state?
No, I just would ask the court to impose those non-monetary conditions. I think, given the situation as detailed in the complaint, no contact is appropriate.
And I think one of the most concerning parts of the complaint is, and I'm reading from page 2. Caller whose name forms the initials RS, advised that a roommate who is verbally identified as the defendant had armed himself with a kitchen knife and with it threatened RS and her children, one of whom was an adult whose name forms the initials DC and the other of whom was a child under the age of 18. That's concerning. It sounds like alcohol may have been at play. Underlying offense. So OWI first with a minor passenger, was that correct?
I believe it's causing injury.
Causing injury.
I do believe he was at a 0.24 in this case.
Yep. So I'm going to order a signature bond with the conditions that you have no contact with Rosebud S or her kids, that you're banned from the 600 block of Park Circle and Sun Prairie, that you're not to use or possess any alcohol, that you're not to use or possess any dangerous weapons. I'm also going to order pretrial services, to report to them by 10 a.m. of the next business day.
Monday.
I'm sorry.
Monday.
Yes, I believe they're open on Monday.
That's it right here.
Yep.
Yep.
So I'm hesitant to do it. I'm considering having you not be released until you can report.
I'll let you down.
Okay,
I'll let you down.
I hope not. I'll
And
call.
I actually needed this.
Yeah, you might want to talk to your attorney, but I'm taking a chance on you on the signature bond, all right? So that should tell you that I think you can do it. I'm also going to order that you report to pretrial services by 10 a.m. of the next business day. That'll be Monday, okay? So please don't blow this up over the weekend, all right?
Yeah, that's right here.
Yeah, that has the instructions on how to do it. It's
You're gonna
the
go to
5th floor of
courthouse.
the Dane County Courthouse.
I'll come to the courthouse.
Yep. So,
We're here.
yep, correct.
Shall not be the same per block.
Sun Prairie, correct,
No alcohol, no weapons.
correct. And pretrial services. Okay. So if you, pretrial services can also, make referrals to connect to a services. That might be something good to look into, because if you have 2 cases, alcohol is alleged to have been used in each case. Be something good to get taken care of. Alcohol is powerful drug, all right? So I'd encourage you to, if it's a problem, and I don't judge guilt or innocence or anything like that. It's a problem, I'd encourage you to look into that, okay? I will enter not guilty pleas to the misdemeanor counts, and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Sorry.
What do I come to?
Okay, so we're here. You're gonna go to the Dane County Courthouse, which is right here, and then you're gonna go to the 5th floor,
Okay.
and then like the pretrial services work.
Okay.
You're gonna go there Monday.
Okay.
Thank you.
Here, everybody, so.
Very good. This is the state of Wisconsin versus Jubo Barrett Davis, 26 CF 62. Can I have appearances, please?
The state appears by ADA Ben Wagner.
Mr. Bart Davis appears via Zoom through a meal slot alongside Attorney Stingle. Have you received a copy of the criminal complaint, sir?
Yes.
Is the address on it correct? Is the beacon where you were receiving mail?
Yes.
Okay. He has received a copy of the criminal complaint. We're gonna waive its formal reading. The address on the criminal complaint is correct, and he is eligible for our services.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you in a case like this. You're eligible for the public defender. They're gonna work on getting somebody appointed to your case, all right? I find probable cause in the complaint. What are the state's recommendations?
No objection to a signature bond. Appears the defendant is on a PO hold from this incident. But the state would also ask for a ban from the Capitol Square.
That's per the Capitol Square ban map.
Yes.
All right.
Ray Stengel?
I have no objection to the signature bond. In terms of the capital ban, I would ask, that he be able to take the bus through that area. Cause I know the bus route runs along that, so I would just ask that he'd be banned from the area within the ban map, but not the adjoining roads, so he can take the bus.
Any response from the state?
No objection if he's in the area on a bus.
So I'm going to order a signature bond, the condition that you're banned from the Capitol Square unless you're inside of public transportation. So that means you can ride on a bus through the Capitol Square, but you shouldn't get out at the Capitol Square at all right? So if there's a bus stop on the Capitol Square, don't get out of the bus there, don't catch the bus there, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll enter, or I'm sorry, this is a felony. Will the time limits for the prelim be kept or waived?
We'll waive time limits.
All right. Then we'll waive time limits for the preliminary hearing then, and we are adjourned. Thank you.